clear your eyes. Just keep your eyes closed. As you have been seeing these verses, we are in these verses where the Absolute, beyond the relatives, the Absolute in and through the relatives, is revealed, where each person, whoever is aware of it, continuously, without an interruption, revels in himself, yet there is no sense of revelry, that I am reveling in myself, that this is the absolute wisdom beyond the relatives and in and through the relatives. None of these descriptions are required for him to be who he is. As you sit down here, ask yourself, are you being aware of who you are? Or please listen. Do you have a sense of time and a space, where now this is afternoon or morning, 10:30, 11 o'clock. This is the dawn or the dusk. The day is passing. Or you are aware of a point in space where you are sitting down in this place. In one condition of the body. All these are, please see, relative considerations. For you to be who you are, for you to revel in who you are, to be who you are, these considerations are not required. That is day or night, dawn or the dusk. It is here or there. All these chatterings of the mind, deliberate or even unconscious, are not required for you to be who you are. You don't need any memories of any kind, be that of the childhood youth or old age, be that of a pleasant or painful sensation, be that a moment of glory or ingloriousness, be that a moment of health or disease. None of these memories are required. For you to be who you are, you don't have to remember any relative condition. Nor there is any need to resist. The appearance of a thought which reminds of the past. In fact, to be who you are, there is absolutely no waiting of any kind. Please see that, friends. There is no waiting for any kind. No conditions apply. Nor there is any resistance of any kind. There are some children talking at a distance, make no difference. That you are even listening to me makes no difference, because you are not attempting or trying to focus on my words, but you are being who you are. Or else you shall unconsciously sitting down there as a listener of the truth. It is so subtle, so simple. Unconsciously, unobtrusively, you can be overtaken just by a thought. That you are overtaken by a thought, an idea or a memory, can be understood only when you miss the thought, you miss the description with which you were comfortable. Meditation, being yourself, is not a condition invoked by certain other relative conditions. The presence or absence of any thought doesn't matter. The sense of time and space doesn't make any difference. You are a timeless, spaceless presence, available at all times, all places. Being aware, the dawn is as beautiful as the dusk. Mid-morning is as beautiful as the midnight. Opposites do not matter. Poverty is as wonderful as prosperity. Living is as much a blessing as even the end of living. presence of the body is as blissful as living. Its absence in time. You see these as it is. Moods, emotions, perceptions, sensations are just like waves in the water. Nothing is added to the water. An apparent dance, apparent movement continues. Waves collapse. Water is always steady and safe. Perceptions, sensations, emotions, memories a million kinds, are like gentle waves. The water of consciousness. And to be who you are. No conditions apply. Ask yourself. Do you enjoy that sense of total fulfillment? Call it bliss if you like. Immortality, freedom, happiness. No name is going to describe it. This is what you see and be at the end of the teaching. Teaching doesn't mean how many verses you are familiar with, how many books you have finished, how many words you have picked up, how many ideas you have enjoyed. Are you an admirer of the reality, the connoisseur of the truth, or are you the truth itself? The the individuality, can have a vicarious sense of fulfillment, that it appreciates reality. Forgets it is yet to be. It is not yet the reality. It appreciates. A sattvic person. Are you the one who is the happiness itself, the fulfillment itself? Or you are enjoying your fulfillment, a moment of happiness. Or with the meditation itself, or you are enjoying the meditation. There is a difference, friends, between being the compassion and admiring compassion, being the wisdom and admiring the wisdom. If you admire the wisdom, you shall hate the foolishness. You will struggle to be with that wisdom which you admire. Its absence or its invisibility will frighten you. And if somebody is not wise, somebody doesn't share that, you may be intolerant. Whereas if you are the wisdom, not the protector of wisdom, admirer of wisdom, then there is no question of somebody not understanding it in a sense. You are no more intolerant. The other person is the wisdom itself. Who doesn't understand is an individuality. Do you see yourself as the wisdom or the admirer of wisdom? If you see yourself as the admirer of wisdom, you shall feel disappointed other people don't admire it. If you see yourself as the wisdom, there is no disappointment. Because you are as much the wisdom, the happiness, the fulfillment, the truth, the God, the divine, as any other person is. Hence you have no sense of superiority. And nobody is inferior. As Bhagavan said in Gita, Samvoham sarvabhutesu namedvasyasti namedpurya. Arjuna, I am the same in all the beings. And that's what you see in yourself. Who you are and who everybody is, one and the same. There's no inferior, no superior. No holier, no unholy. No divine, no mundane. These are all relative considerations. Relative considerations come out to assault you, affect you, if you unconsciously entertain an individuality. Falling in love with the idea, I am wise, than being the wisdom. Falling in love with the idea, I am happy, instead of being the happiness itself. Close your eyes. There is no struggle for meditation, being the meditation. If you open your eyes, there is no end of meditation, but a continuation. And therefore, any and every condition is a bliss. It's neither a craving or a resistance of any kind. Or in other words, in craving there is no craving. In resistance, there is no resistance. As even being alive, there is no sense of being alive, nor there is any sense of dying, meanwhile, body passing away. See that, friends. In the movement of the earth, the play of the shadow and the light, day and night. The movement of the thought, memories, different conditions appear to be. Yourself, who you are, is day and night. Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parasta. Beyond light and darkness, it illumines the light, illumines the darkness, illumines the thought as well as its absence. Comes to disappear. The day dawns to end. Night begins to end. Thought begins to end. You are beginningless, endless. So even while being aware of relative movements of day and night, childhood, youth and old age, presence or absence of things in the physical universe, while experiencing the changing sense organs and the ever-changing mind, the thoughts of many kinds, remain changeless. The day is as beautiful as the night. Youth is as glorious as the old age. The presence of thought is as wonderful as in the absence of it. Ignorance, not knowing about yourself, you move up and down, changing various conditions. In fact, if you seem to be changing conditions, the world outside, your body, your senses, your thoughts, you better take care of yourself. Take some time to look at yourself, be yourself. And having a sense of vicarious satisfaction that sometimes I am there, sometimes I am not there. That's what exact relative condition is. In absolute being with yourself who you are, that will sometimes be who you are and sometimes not be who you are. And this, having seen it clearly for yourself, you don't become the follower of wisdom, you are the wisdom. You are not the admirer of a teaching, you are the teaching, you are the subject, the reality. And that is what, in this chapter, Janaka submits to the teacher, ASHTAVAKRA. He is no more talking about the teacher as a person, but the wisdom that it is. We are no more admiring the teacher as the teaching. You become the subject. Then only there is a fulfillment in the teaching. As the Upanishads will say, the wise says, while sending a child to the teachers, tells him, go and be the Brahman, the Absolute. Our clan, Brahmavit Bhavati, somebody becomes the one with the Brahman, the Absolute. Brahmavandhuna Bhavati is not known to a Brahmayani. I'm telling, I know a billionaire, you don't get a single rupee in your pocket. Even talking about God all-pervasive, you can still be limited. Informed about absolute all-pervasiveness, immortality, you can be still groaning under the load of mortality and information. Janaka sees the reality, and with that pincers of wisdom, the help of that wisdom, he has counteracted every possible source of relative conflict. First one to go, to be counteracted, is the I, the individuality. In fact, that is the first and that is the last. Individuality, you see the reality of who you are. You don't have to touch the relative world, day and night, morning and evening, childhood or old age. health or disease, poverty or prosperity, strength or weakness, by themselves have no sense of superiority or inferiority. Wisdom and stupidity by itself has no sense of superiority and inferiority. They are. Considers himself weak or strong. When you are the strength itself, you are the weakness itself. Listen carefully. You are not the desirer of a desire, the desire itself. You are not admirer of wisdom, wisdom itself. You are not looking for the strength, you are the strength itself. The truth, that is the strength. The truth, that is the weakness. You see that. By itself, no limitation is limitation, unless you feel limited. Limitless doesn't feel limitless, neither limited feels limited. The I. If it jumps from sense of limitation to sense of limitlessness, it is still jumping. Limitless doesn't say, I am limitless. Limited has no hands of limitation. So the pangs of limitation or revelry of wisdom are only relative conditions. Just by seeing the truth of this I, individuality, in whose presence these two concepts of relative and absolute seem to be existing. It is happy. Not only you don't take any more what you have to be who you are. Listen carefully. Not only you no more take yourself to be, no more take yourself. What you have to be who you are, but also no need to say who you are as who you are. The words redundant, thoughts. Do not mean anything. Now just read a few verses, and all the verses that is coming, some 18 to 20 verses, Same type of idea. One word, one little word is understood, the entire thing is same. We'll see that now. Please just read 2-3 verses which I'll see that. Just read from number 1, doesn't matter. The number says, Tattva Vijnana Sandansam Adaya Hrudayodarat Nana Vida Paramarsha Shalyo Dharakuto Maya Kvadarma Kvachava Kamaha Kvachartha Kvavivekita Kvadvaitam Kvachavadvaitam Swamahim Nistitasya Me Kvabhutam Kvavishyadvam Vartamanam Api Kvavam Kvadesa Kvachava Nityam Swamahimni Stitasya Me Kvachatma Kvachava Anatma Kvashubham Kvashubham Yatha Kvachinta Kvachacha Chinta Swamahimni Stitasya Me Kvasvapna Kvasushuptirvam Kvacha Jagaranam Tatha Kvaturiyam Vayam Vapi Swamahimni Stitasya Me. For you to listen carefully, for you to understand these verses, naturally, you must be Janaka. Is what he says, if you have to see, what he says, if you see, then only you know what he is talking about. Or else it will be some descriptions. It's like, together we have gone to Gangotri, Yamunotri, these beautiful places. When we sit down together and discuss, hey, when we were in Gangotri, that Ganges, they are so clean, waters are so cold. All of us will enjoy, because together we have gone there. Suppose there is a person who has not gone there, what will we say? He shall, in a polite way, join the conversation, smile when you smile, do not smile when you do not smile, but he doesn't understand anything. But he smiles. Same thing, friends. This knowledge is exactly as simple and beautiful as that. There is a possibility of you being to Gangotri and somebody not being there, but the self-knowledge, there is no impossibility. Everybody is same, whether the person likes it or doesn't like it. The moment you say somebody is not like this or somebody is like this, you are again dealing with the relative stuff. So what is your absolute? Think, friends. It's like you have got a value for compassion, kindness. But you are so cruel that somebody is not kind. You understand how the value can be vitiating? Relative value. Are you the value itself or you are admiring the value? This is so subtle, you can't beat it. Is the person who has a value for compassion, he thinks he is very compassionate. It's like a person who has a value for self-knowledge, he thinks he is wonderful. Useless. Are you this self-knowledge itself? Because if you have a value for it, Somebody who doesn't have that value, you shall look down upon that person. If somebody who has a value for it, he can pretend to have a value for it and can cheat you outright. Think, friends, think. It's like you have a value for a good dress. Somebody can spend a lot of money borrowing from somebody for a beautiful dress just to impress you, and you are deceived. And a person cannot afford a very big dress, but he is the ultimate person, maybe the richer than the richest. But he doesn't want to dress according to your expectations. You shall feel cheated again, because you are looking at the person through the dress. Think, friends. That is why these relative things are not true. Each one of those so-called relative values, right, wrong, good, bad, holy, unholy, mortal, immortal, morality, immorality, papa, punya, vice, virtue, anything can be a huge source of conflict, agitation for yourself as well as for others. You think for yourself. Most people, listen, I was thinking in this morning, I was talking, I was thinking, most people, I said most people, and you look at your own lives, your life must have taken a turn because of a very sorrowful incident, painful incident, maybe a failure. Out of success, being tired of success and looking for absolute, very few. Being tired of riches and looking for fulfillment, very few. But being hit by life, feeling destroyed, devastated, deceived, frustrated, looking for some other way out, is the story of millions. So, had that incident not happened in your life, you would not have looked for the absolute knowledge. So that particular incident, which might have appeared as a curse at that time, is it not a blessing? So that incident by itself is a curse or a blessing? If it ultimately led you to the absolute, it's a blessing. Suppose you got a huge lottery, 100 million, just like that. And you felt so comfortable in life, you didn't look for anything else. Your dream run continues for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Then suddenly you discover your husband is not there, your wife is no more there, the children are no more children. They have interested only in your money that you have got, and once you write it off, thereafter you just don't exist for them. What do you say? You remember that day when you won the lottery. What do you say? That was the day I was cursed. Think. If marriage is beautiful, the day I married was a wonderful day. If the marriage is disaster, that is the day my life took a drastic, painful turn. Think. So what is that something which is a blessing? What is that something which is a curse? You remember the story I was telling long back, I had told you that story about the villager who had horses, right? You remember? I'll let me repeat it again, just like that. The man has few horses. And one day those horses went for grazing in the forest, never came back. The villagers came around to sympathize with him. Oh, poor thing, you lost so many horses. The man says, how do you know this is not a blessing? A person who lost, if he thinks it's a blessing, now what can you say? This is people's perception. Losing horses, na? Curse. So they come to sympathize. But the man says, how do you know? True, next day the domesticated horses, lost in the jungle, came back with few wild horses along with them and returned home. So the villagers came back, hey, you are lucky, blessed you are, to have those wonderful horses. Then this person says, how do you know this is not going to bring me bad luck? This will be a curse. Then the person says, naturally when they are enjoying in his good luck, that man says it may be a curse. So they go back. And true, his son was trying to break those horses, train those horses. One wild horse gave a kick on his spine. The fellow fell down wounded. The villagers heard about it, they came back. Oh, we are so sorry. Your son has broken ribs. He said, how do you know it's not a blessing? The fellow must have thought this fellow is really strange. Huh? Anyway, they went back. They are doing their polite job, habitual job, considering gaining as a blessing, losing as a curse, falling down, sick is curse, healthy is blessing. This is normal people's thinking. So how do you know this is not a blessing? They went back. And then the story is, there is a battle between the two kingdoms, and the king of this kingdom, in which this village is existing, sends the army for conscripting all able-bodied youngsters. They come to this man's house, they see the youngster already bedridden, wounded soldier before going to fight. So they did not take him to the battle. Villagers never came back. Seeing friends, just don't gloss over it as a story. This is life. Look back at yourself. What all you thought when you go to school, do you plan a failure or success? When you pick up a job, do you plan failure or success? When you pick up a friendship, a marriage, relationship, do you plan suffering or revelry, enjoyment? When you invest in something, do you plan loss or gain? But what happens? Where does it take you? That is how the man is buffeted. Goes ups and downs. But the huge shock observer given to you is, this is life. Kuch khata, kuch meetha. Something sour, something sweet. Some kasabu, some inibu, some bitterness, some sweetness. So you are programmed to accept the relatives, but never strive to go beyond the relatives. You are paralyzed. Man is mortal, so why fighting mortality? Life is misery, so why looking for alternative? You understand? One thought paralyzes your brain. Believe in this God. These are all His grace, suffering, and so you have to go through this. Upanishads, Vedas are so beautiful. The teaching is not to give you a helpless surrender, a helpless resignation to certain inevitable conditions. Changes are inevitable, but changing with changes is not inevitable. Please listen to that statement. Changes are inevitable, but changing with changes is not. These are like nuggets, right? You don't try to create a nugget. You look at yourself, it flows. Every statement is wonderful. Understand? Changes are inevitable. But changing with changes is not. It depends on you. So who you are? So what you consider a blessing turned to be a curse. What you consider a curse turned to a blessing. A mosquito in the border, where you are guarding the border. If you are drowsy, you fall asleep for a moment, you may be hit by a bullet. These mosquitoes who are really bothering you, they are the sentinels. They are keeping you awake. No mosquito, you will be asleep and dead. In your household also there are certain mosquitoes. Now suddenly therefore your mind will habitually jump, I know, in my house there is a mosquito. You forget you are a mosquito for somebody. That is the huge mistake ahankara commits. The moment you put an example, the person puts somebody else as an example. My son is my mosquito, my husband is a mosquito, my wife is a mosquito, my brother-in-law is a mosquito, my friend is a mosquito, my father-in-law. Those mosquitoes, they can touch your body, but you are the mosquito inside who can torture yourself inside complete. And therefore you shall extend your torture to your own physical body, and therefore you shall extend the torture to every other body in this universe. You are the biggest mosquito. In one mosquito which has got malaria, filaria, jaundice, anything, mosquito-borne disease means what? These mosquitoes can have malaria and filaria. But this ahankara mosquito, oh boy. Dharma, artha, kama, loka, viveka, dvaita, advaita, bhuta, bhavishyat, vartamana, time, space, atma, anatma, self, not self, auspicious, inauspicious, anxiety, absence of anxiety, dream, waking, deep sleep. All these are conditions. You are the mosquito. Do you understand that point, please? Relative conditions, limited conditions are conditions. Limitation has no limitation. Are you getting that point? Take that statement. Limitation has no sense of limitation. Day doesn't feel it's a day. Night doesn't feel it's a night. Body doesn't feel it's a body. Mortality doesn't feel it's a mortality. Pain doesn't feel pain. Anxiety doesn't feel anxiety. Do you understand? Memories, thoughts do not consider themselves as disturbance or an aid to meditation, nor the limitless feels limitless. That is why in the universe there is no hint of struggle anywhere until the ahankara comes, I thought comes. And this I, because not knowing about himself, it had created sense of dharma, adharma, kama, lartha, moksha, dvaita, advaita. It is dragging everything onto itself. Are you getting that point, please? I had picking up certain things which somebody had written somewhere else also. There is a writing, I think I should read it to you because it is very beautiful. Who has written this? Nobody knows. This is a book which collects ideas. This is not a writer, he is a collector. And this idea, somewhere somebody, but it's so beautifully written. It doesn't have to have a person behind it. Listen to this. The unenlightened consider themselves to be awake. So, in their folly, they call some people good and others bad, some happenings joyful and others sad. The awakened are no longer at the mercy of life and death, growth and decay, success and failure, poverty and riches, honor and disgrace. For them, even hunger, thirst, heat and cold, experienced as transient in the river of life, no longer retain their sting. They have come to realize that there is never any need to change what they see. They have come to realize that there is never any need to change what they see, only the way they see it. You don't have to change things, but you have to change the way you see it. And so they come to take on the quality of water, which is soft and pliant, yet irresistible in its power, which doesn't strive, yet benefits all beings. By their egoless action, others are transformed. Through their detachment, the whole world prospers. Owing to their desirelessness, others are left unspoiled. Water is drawn out of the river to irrigate fields. The water is quite indifferent to whether it is present in the river or in the fields. Thus, it is that the enlightened act, and live sweetly and powerfully in accordance with their destiny. These are the ones who become the sworn enemies of society, which hates living pliableness and thrives on drill, order, routine, orthodoxy and conformity. We'll ask somebody to type it out and give you the next class. The ignorant person pretends to be wise and promulgates his own orders about the orders in the society, how everybody should live. No law is meant for himself. Understand? Ask yourself, if you are feeling empty, disgusted, frustrated in life, it is because you are the prisoner of your own thought. Even for such a person, enlightenment is a thought. I am enlightened. I know. These fellows don't know anything. And what do you know? You may know everything, friends, but if you don't know yourself, you know nothing. When you are a lie, even the relative truth becomes a bigger lie. You are a lie. You don't know about yourself. You shall use kindness to impress others. You shall use cruelty if your version of kindness is not accepted. Imagine. It's something so rampant in the world of the ignorant. To prove their point, they shall sell their soul. To prove him right, the person shall sell his soul. Destroy anybody and everybody. Why? Because he is right. The wise man, one who knows it, there is no sense of understand. There is a sense of everybody being alive. Because if you destroy somebody, What is his chance to be with himself? Just think for yourself. Just think for yourself. When you are absolutely right, in a sense, absolutely, when you understand about yourself completely, you don't try to prove yourself right or wrong. You don't try to prove some people wrong. No. It doesn't matter. Why? Life has taught you. What you thought was a right move turned out to be a curse. What you thought to be a wrong move turns out to be wonderful. That you did not get a job in a particular company pushed you to be independently employed. And now you are a millionaire. What do you say? Thank God I did not get the job. That time if somebody would have told, good that you did not get the job. What would you have told? Jealous. Enjoying that I did not get the job. You know your families, when the boys and girls, they fall in love. They want to marry. If you prevent them, what will they say? Thereafter, whatever happens, you are the culprit. Because of you this happened, because of you this happened. And if you don't say anything, whatever happens, what will happen? They are quiet. They will not tell anybody. Why? Because they chose. Understand? When you do something, what is coming out of it? Coming out of it. Listen, friends. You know, this has been so beautiful thought. Last night I was thinking this morning, anyway, this, and then after some I just gave up. Just think. You are starting on the road, okay? You step out of this place. Where are you going? What shall you say? You may be walking to your death because you may fall in the river or fall in the water in front of a car in the next 10 minutes. Where are you going? You may be walking towards your death or prosperity. Relative things. You meet somebody. What happens? What happens? You are going to invest your money in a business. How do you know it's going to be wiped out? Or it may be more. If it is more, don't be too happy because suddenly you may lose everything. And it can bring you such complications you don't know. Please, this is where comes this self-knowledge, absolute knowledge. Why? Because to learning to make best use of both poverty and prosperity. So-called blessing, so-called curse. When prosperity reaches you, you don't lose yourself. When poverty reaches you, you don't get affected. That is why those simply simple verses in Bhagavad Gita. Sukhe dukhe same krutva. Labha labho jaya jayo. Tato yudhaya ujjasva. Naiva papam apsyasi. Hey Arjuna, sukhe dukhe same krutva. Sukhesu sukha prapaka ghatanasu. Dukhesu dukha prapaka ghatanasu. Ghatana means situations in life, which apparently will bring some comfort sometimes, which also can apparently give you discomfort sometimes. In both these situations, same krutva. As I told you, situations will change, but you don't change with situations. How do you make it sama? How do you take the sukham and dukham? Both are same, because you are the same. Are you getting that? When you accept dukkha, it doesn't become sukha. Just because you accept your disease, suddenly it is health. What nonsense. Don't have that type of imaginary feelings. Just because you are accepting sukha, it doesn't become dukkha. Huh? Or just because you don't accept sukha, does it become dukkha? If you don't accept prosperity, does it become poverty? You don't accept you are a millionaire, do you become poor? No. Do you understand? Why am I telling you? If you really understand these things, you and complaint are separate entities. Misery, pain, anxiety. Everything is a blessing. Nothing is a curse, nobody is a curse. Why? Without that, without that situation, without that person, without that thing, listen carefully. Without that situation, that creation, that thing, shall you say, I will not be who I am? No. You are always you are, but you are tested out in every situation in life. How do you know your strength? How do you know your strength? How do you know the strength of a car? When you put it against the climb. The other day, one time, 1 or 2 years back, we were going to Kodai, what is that place, Yerkad. We took somebody's car, somebody was driving. The person was gushing throughout the trip. Oh, Swamiji is so fantastic. I never thought this car can do like this, I never thought it can take a turn like this. I can never think this can go climb like this. Yeah. Why? The fanciest car you have, street level driving in Chennai city, what nonsense you will understand about the power of the car. If you take it out to the tough terrain, mountains, rocks, desert drive, if it stands, what will you say? Oh man, it's some machine. Same thing. When you understand yourself and I am alone under a tree, how will you understand the greatness of this wisdom? There also you can understand. If you are alone in a tree, I feel I am the emperor of the universe. That's the choice is yours. But when you come across situations in life, sukheshu dukkeshu, as you are going down, huge traffic jam, you don't get down and shoot somebody. Accident. It can happen. Labha, profit and loss, gain and loss, in both the situations. Why is it so? Everything is fine because you have gained something by gaining which nothing else appears to be a greater gain than that. After infinity what? Yallabdha tata adhikam labham na manyate. By gaining which there is no further gain, no greater gain than that in this universe. After infinity what? By losing which there is nothing further to lose. When you lose the ahankar, the sense of I, limited I, which limits everything, listen carefully. Limitations do not matter until I feel limited. Somebody thinks punishing you, but you don't feel punished. What punishment is that? I give you coffee without sugar. Make it very dark and very bitter and no sugar. Because I want to tease you, punish you. You say you like only dark and bitter coffee. What do? Somebody takes away your job, takes away your money, everything. What is it? Appa, that's what I was looking for. When this stupid job will go, this money gone, I'm happy under a tree. Or in a small house, that's good enough for me. Now who can punish you? Some people go to jail. Listen, some people go to jail and come out broken, destroyed, devastated. Some people go to jail, come out great writers, poets and novelists. The same jail they stayed. For somebody you throw a stone, the fellow doesn't know to get angry and fights with himself or fights with you. So another person throws a stone, he makes a statue out of it, makes use of the whole place. Is there not positive thinking stuff? I understand. Here you are who you are. When you see this reality for yourself, what happens? Thereafter, every other relative considerations, you see them as relative considerations and do not anymore rely on that. Judgment disappears. Judgment disappears means judgmental. When you are saying this is right, this is wrong, this is good, this is bad, that heavy sense of judgment completely disappears. A child does something wrong. Do you kill the child? The child is yet to learn. You help him to grow so that he understands about himself. Some are 30-year-old children, some are 40-year-old children, some are 50-year-old children, some are 70-year-old children. Some people never grow up until they die. There are like that. The painful thing is, you can say, for whom it is painful? Oh, this fellow, 70-year-old and still thinks he's a baby. Or behaving like a baby when he's 70-year-old. Why are you worried? If you know that the person is eternally grown up inside, he is the last word in evolution. He is an endless, beginningless existence. His limitation will not torture you. His limitations torture you because you don't see his limitlessness. And you don't see his limitlessness because you don't see your own limitlessness. It comes back to you, but you will not be interested in that. That's the worst thing. It comes back to you. Why do you see the person's limitations? Because you don't know how to see his limitlessness. Are you getting that point? And why do you not see his limitlessness? Because you don't see your own limitlessness. So shall you change the person or change yourself? Now, if it is person like that, embody, listen carefully. If it is a person's embodiment, or if you see the person in a physical form, now think of an emotion. Anger is not anger. Hatred is not hatred. Jealousy is not jealousy. Because all these have their sources in the Absolute. Think. What do you mean happiness? Think. What is happiness? If you say absolute, I am the absolute happiness. So any moment you are with yourself, you are the happiness, right? Unhappiness means what? Again related to you, if you are not with yourself. So unhappiness is bad or you should be with yourself. You understand the emotions. This is amazing. What is anger? Why do you get angry? What is this anger? Think. What is anger? I can't take this. Why? Because I am limited. Oh, he is so compassionate. Why? He is so fulfilled. Yes, but only difference is when you are talking about anger as against compassion, opposed to compassion, or you are talking about compassion opposed to anger, then you shall be touched upon. But if you know, being with myself is compassion. Losing sight of myself becomes the anger. So the key lies in what? Where? Key lies in you. You be with yourself. Then anger is not anger. When the person is angry, you don't say, he is angry. He is not angry. He is absolute. He is a bliss. Doesn't know about himself. Shall you be angry with somebody's ignorance? If you are angry with somebody's ignorance, you don't understand that he is the knowledge personification. If you are angry with his ignorance, that is because your own ignorance has not gone. If your own ignorance has gone, you will know his ignorance also will go. You see the possibility which the other person doesn't see. That is wisdom. Very nicely somebody said, see, there are two fellows. They went for a, gun-trotting fellows, gun fighters. So, one was a professional but small fellow. Just 4 feet 2 and, thin body, but like a Western movies, cowboy. Okay. He can shoot. The other person is 7 feet 4. He is also a gunfighter. Then both stood for fighting. But this 7 foot 4 fellow is little pacific, sort of a peace-loving. He is a pacifist. He doesn't want to fight, but okay, living you have to learn so many things he has learned. So there is a competition. For this lean, mean 4 feet 2, for him is a point to prove. So he said, all right, let us have the thing. Then suddenly this pacifist somehow tried to avoid the fight. What is the fighting for? By chance, fellow, they dead now, what will happen honestly? And each person will be a target, who can shoot him. Then this fellow wanted to avoid the fight and he told him, look, this is not a very equal fight because that man has a bigger target. That 4 feet 2, the 4 feet 2 has a bigger target. And I have a smaller target to it. So I think let's give up. Meaning just be alive. But what is 4 feet 2? No. Okay. In that 7 feet 2, you put one 4 feet 2 line. So if the bullet goes outside of it, I am not victorious. Hey, whether it is outside of it, inside of it, the person will die or not. But the ignorant person shall try to prove a point. He has to prove himself right and shall sell his soul. I am right. Therefore, their greatness does not lie in being compassionate, but proving a compassionate fellow cruel. You understand? These are the people who worship ideals. They are not the ideals. They are not wise. They are the critics of wisdom. Think of it. If the other person is not compassionate, not kind, shall you destroy him or help him to be compassionate? When shall it come? When you are compassionate. But if your value, your greatness is in what? Not being compassionate, but killing the people who are cruel, or blaming the person who is not compassionate. You understand? These are the people who have become terrorists, fundamentalists, rigid orthodox people. Destroy everybody. Everywhere you see that. In a family, in an organization, everywhere in the world. Why? Because it happens within one's own self. The wise person will try to avoid any type of conflict at all cost. Because for what? What is the idea? The person should be aware of himself. Think. When you are not aware of yourself, what happens? Please, when you are not aware of himself, you are not aware of yourself, you take all that you have to be who you are. That is the line. You take yourself to be, you unconsciously take yourself to be what you have as who you are. And these things, what you have their limitations. Think. If you consider yourself, please see that. Suppose you consider yourself, what you have as yourself, your riches. So the riches have to be protected, right? Because if you have riches and therefore you are rich. So the riches have to be protected. Now, can you protect the riches? So what becomes the good value? Anything that protects your riches is good. Anything that takes your riches is a thief. So you become angry even with the time. Your time is taking away your youth. You get angry with everybody because you are dying and you are living. You have taken your body. Your body is me. Your body is you. You have your body. So health is good. Disease is bad. Think. Not that therefore say disease and health one. No, these are two different conditions. Don't feel so enamored that with health you shall last forever. No. With health also you will die, with the disease also you will die. Death will come. That is the nature of the body. Take care of the disease. Don't feel diseased. Take care of the health also. Because health also, what? What is health? What is the distance between health and disease? What is the distance? What is the distance between freedom and jail? You are walking on the road, no? That road leads to jail. You slap somebody, then see what happens. No, it's not a story, friends. Two people talking, suddenly ends in an argument, boom, boom, death. It takes a person, takes a gun and shoots down. This morning there was a newspaper, a small report somewhere down south, one police officer. Some person was taken to the jail. When he was talking to him, that person was a little arrogant and told something to the professor, to the police officer. He takes his service revolver, boom, 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 3 times, dead. Did he know what he was doing? Then later on he knew, of course, what he has done. So he go and join the hospital. I was also hit by the process, therefore you can do anything you like. But what killed the person now? What is the difference between law protection and law eating you, devouring you? Law protecting you and the same law also destroying you, right or wrong? Hey, what I am telling you is, if you start thinking, you shall be so thoroughly confused. Life is good or bad? Is a blessing or a curse? Neither a blessing nor a curse. Body, neither a blessing nor a curse. Helping somebody, right or wrong? Please think, please think. Sit down for yourself and do that. See it for yourself. You lie down. Observe your mind. The whole world is far away. Who is torturing you? Your thoughts, good or bad? Does the thought have the capacity to torture? Have you done it? Or always never open, you never close your eyes and look at your own world? I'm not telling you a joke. If you look at your lives, I'm not challenging you. Why should I do that? You do it, you gain it. You don't, you earn, you don't get. How does it matter to me? How many hours really you close your down and observe yourself? Every day, like many people say, I do my asanas only for other people's speech. The only asana is they bend down to put on the dress. But they'll tell the world, I am doing asanas. Say like that meditation also. I do my meditation every day, really. You do meditation every day, then why are you so disturbed and destroyed, feeling devastated in life? Are you really aware of yourself? Look at your mind and think. What is torturing you? A thought is a blessing or a curse? Neither it is a blessing nor it is a curse. Have you really dealt with it? I thought comes and starts meddling with it all. This thought should not be there. It will not allow you to sit down quietly for 10 minutes. Try. Sit down and see for yourself. Who makes you restless? There is no Mara, no black fellow, no devil, no donkey, no stupidity, evil anywhere in this universe. Your own mind, your own thought, the I thought will not allow you to sit down for 2 minutes. Sit down and see. Continuously close your eyes for hours together. That 2 hours, don't think it's a wastage. It's like telling, what is the productivity in doing exercise? True. If I dig a hole, put up a plant, some plant will come. Yes, that's right. If that is your lifestyle, your work is exercise. Fine. But if your lifestyle is always in computer, the best exercise get your fingertip. Greatest physical exercise is movement of the fingertip. What calorie consumption? What shall I get out of it? Do and see. I am using my thoughts every day. Using your thought is not meditation. Being yourself is meditation. You are using your thoughts. What thoughts you are using? Listen carefully. That is why professionally you are very successful. Top class magician, musician, mathematician, historian, geographer, physicist, administrator, top. Comes about himself, finished. So you are very, very selective, not consciously. Certain thoughts you know how to deal with it. Professional thoughts, yes. Like a driver is top class driver. Controls the vehicle like anything. Anger, hatred, jealousy, road rage. What is road rage? Somebody just cuts you on the left side or right side. You get down and shoot. Fine. Think, please think. So that is the one which is the embodiment of relativity, if I can use that word really. Ahankara is the embodiment. That is the one which names, brands, limits every thought, every emotion, every object in this world. Limitation doesn't limit as much you limit the limitation. The limitations do not limit you as much I limit the limitations and thereby itself. Even the limitlessness cannot make you free. This individuality, are you understand? One, this I which is dragging the limitations onto itself. Even limitlessness cannot make it free. Do you know why? Because limitlessness doesn't do any action. From its own standpoint, there is nobody limited to be limitlessness. Therefore, the whole choice is yours. Either. So sit down and catch it. Or else, you will be a good speaker. Good speaker. Because you are an informed person. Maybe you have the language. But living will be total misery. Comparison, contrast. Oof, it will be frustrations in life. So, having seen it, as how nice Janaka says, having seen this, I take that pincer, that chamcha, that chimta. Many sadhus, those who are these itinerant monk, they will have chimta. Do you know that the pincer? Because they digging is helping also, and when you put up a fire, it take the wood and put this way, put that way. That chimta they will have. Every Sadhu, those who go around like that, they will have a long concept with them. That's a very good thing. So what do you do? Having seen it about yourself, taking this Jnanamadaya, Nanabidha Paramarsa Salya Uddhara Buddha. I have removed every cause of, I have removed every conclusions, wrong conclusions I had taken in my life for such a long time. And the first wrong conclusion is about yourself, who you are. And because you did not know that, therefore, what did you do? Many things. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, Dharma. What is Dharma? What is right or wrong? Tell me. Think. What is Dharma? Depends on society. Depends on, that is why Vedas, when they are deciding Papa Punya, it doesn't say this is Papa, this is Punya. You can't say. It has to take into account Desha, Kala, Patra. What place, under what circumstances, in what time, who did it. Eating vegetarian, non-vegetarian food. Eating vegetarian food is dharma. Eating non-vegetarian food is adharma. Can you completely make it black and white? Put this fellow who is giving this injunction in the Eskimo land. Let him produce some rice and vegetable on the ice and eat it. There you have to eat meat, drink blood. And if a woman in that community, where the men are hunters, they have to go and hunt in the camp. The woman has to bite the skin, the leather, and make it soft and put dresses also. So your whole life is moved around what? Flesh, blood, skin. Now suppose you thinking about it also you feel nauseating, you have been too long in a river valley civilization. Good or bad? It's so unfortunate. The whole world must come into this awareness. Then what do? You give God a particular name, a particular form. Think, this is the God. Whoever worships that is a good man. Whoever doesn't worship that God, non-believer. Heretic. How many heretics are destroyed? In the eyes of the so-called religious fellow, everybody else is heretic. Because others don't believe in what that other person believes in. Even if in Hindu, our Vedic tradition, there are thousands of different, you can worship anything you like. Even then also there is fanaticism. Why? Saivite, Vaishnavite, or the Sauras, Shaktas. People can be so tunnel vision. So if you are not Vaishnavite, you are like that. If you are not Shaivite, you are not like that. You are not a Hindu or a Muslim or a Christian or, imagine. What a tradition this is, eh? Any belief that gives you security becomes your insecurity. Any practice that gives you security becomes your insecurity. Because if somebody who doesn't believe in that belief, doesn't respect that, honor that practice, or doesn't follow that practice, what happens? In your eyes is a deviant. Must be destroyed. So I destroy you for what I don't like, you destroy me for what you don't like. So in the world, nobody left out. Don't you think, friends, we need this wisdom? You accept yourself for who you are, and therefore you accept everybody for who they are. So taking that little pincer, thousands of different conclusions, dharma, artha, security. What is security? What is security? Anything that is your security becomes an insecurity. You understand? Whatever is your security becomes your insecurity. An object is your security, object is insecurity. A person is your security, person is insecurity. A thought is your security, thought becomes insecurity. A faith is your security, faith becomes insecurity. So what is the security? Which is not an object, not a thought, not a belief. You understand? And what is that something? Yourself. Because that's what you are. Kama. Kama. This is desire. Suppose. Kama. Needs. What is there something which is desirable? Is there anything which is desirable? Think. If each one you talk, each one will be a class. I don't have time for that. You have to understand these things and you take it and you start working. It's like I teach you, a plus b whole square is a square plus 2ab plus b square. Now you put ab, what number you want to put? I want to put 1, put. Now I want to put 5. Now I want 5 million. 5. You have time to do that, do it. But this is what it will be. A plus b whole square will be a square plus 2ab plus b square. Finished. If you do not understand yourself who you are, you shall be a prisoner of a billion thoughts and combinations. Billion thought permutation combination. Whatever is good for you may not be good for somebody. Whatever is good for you now may not be good for you later on. Things will change. When you become a prisoner of your own little thoughts, ideas, beliefs, how do you make yourself a prisoner and a free person? If you are a free person, you can choose to be a prisoner. But if you are a prisoner, you can only pretend to be free. You are not free. Are you getting that point? When you are free with yourself, you can follow anybody's rigidity. Suppose somebody says, don't eat this, okay, don't eat this. You go to a society where these things are not done, okay, these things are not done. You go to another society, these things are done. If you feel like doing it, do it. You don't feel like, don't do it. Choice is yours. But you don't disrespect anybody. A free person is like water. Water, wherever it flows, it takes that shape. Triangular field, triangular. Rectangular field, rectangular. Circular field, circular. As it is. Dukkhe, dukkhi, with a happy person, unhappy with the unhappy person. Believer with a believer, non-believer with a non-believer, singer with a singing person, dancer with a dancing person. If he chooses to. If he doesn't do that, but he will not tell, you don't dance. No, he will not do that. You dance. Why don't you come? I love to, but I don't know dance. You continue, na? How beautiful. Your presence does not invoke any type of disharmony at any place. Even in your presence, the stupid doesn't feel stupid. You fall into the stupidity so well. So the stupid people think you are a wonderful person. Why? You are as stupid as them. So nice. You don't have a sense of superiority at any time. You don't fall into their stupidity and then tell them, I have to do that for your sake, you see. Oh my God. That is the ignorance of the highest order. Why do you have to do it for my sake? Think of it. Ishvara. In the infinite, existence that you are, even this tiny whisper of speciality is not accepted. You are ordinary, total ordinariness of the space. The space that surrounds the costliest diamond and the space that surrounds the dust, say, no diamond space and dusty space. Dvaita, Advaita. Somebody believes in duality. Excellent. Right or wrong? Yes, from one standpoint it is right. Another standpoint is wrong. So always there is because of the point of reference, these things are there. That is why people grown up in different types of traditions. Somebody is in a Hindu tradition, Muslim tradition, Christian tradition, Jewish tradition, Jain tradition, Sikh tradition, no traditions. Huh? Your father, your parents are die-hard non-believers, iconoclast atheists. Or not that they have chosen to be atheist, they are not exposed to any type of thinking. So there is no God, no such stuff. Finished. Or somebody has chosen to be atheist. After going through all these beliefs, he says it's all nonsense, therefore he has chosen to be atheist. How does it matter? Oh, these people are burning their, in Tamil Nadu it happened, no? There are some ladies are burning their, throwing their thali. Let them throw. What is wrong with it? Why should somebody who believes in that should feel offended because somebody is throwing it? Because you are throwing it, because you feel offended, they will do it more. Suppose you say, I am throwing it. Suppose by chance they throw it, pick it up and go. They believe in gold, but not the figure in that gold, right? Throw the thali means what? Throw the thali and throw the thali, give it to somebody. That is gold. That gold is God. You say doesn't believe in God. He doesn't believe in God of somebody's God, but he believes in gold as the God. Going to temple, what shall I get? But having the gold, I have food to eat. So gold is God. You take away the belief of the poor believer, he will feel destroyed. You take away the thali, golden thali of this person, he will feel destroyed. How you must eat, don't eat beef or don't eat. I mean, all these things, what happens? How does it make it right if you eat one animal and don't eat another animal? Don't eat animals. Think of it, please. Or if somebody in some society, they have to eat it, what can you do? There is a possibility for everything, friends. You can't believe, because ultimately what it needs is, you must be aware of yourself. As long as as long as your identity depends upon a relative consideration, that long you cannot escape the relative right and wrong, good and bad, vice or virtue. You cannot. And therefore you cannot escape conflict in relation to those things, because whatever is good for you may be wrong for somebody else. For somebody to be on your right side, you have to be necessarily on his left side, right or wrong? Just tell me, suddenly thought comes. For somebody to be on my right side, I have to be on his left side or no? Suppose there are two people only. Don't bring in third, fourth also. We are two people. If I have to be on your right, you have to be on my right side. I have to be on left side. Tradition says everybody should be on the right side. For somebody to be on the right side, I have to be on his left side or no? Yes. Then how am I on the right side? Is it some billion-dollar question? But a simple nonsense which can counteract every rubbish. Tradition says you must be charitable. That means tradition says some people must remain poor and helpless for the rest of their lives. So, for you to be charitable, there should be poverty in the world. Like certain religions, for them to do social service, there must be poverty, there must be disease, or else how their holiness can be talked about. Think. For me to be compassionate, there should be always situations where there should be objects of compassion. How people feel, ayo papam. Do you understand that? When you say ayo papam, that time you have a vicarious sense of superiority. Because ayo papam, that fellow is papam, and so you are somebody who is wonderful. You are also papam. Why? Because without him being papam, without him being helpless, you will have no sense of superiority. So if he says, what nonsense you are talking, I am not papam. I am not your object of sympathy. Forget it. Now you are destroyed from root. Right or wrong? Think. You say, I am helping this fellow. For you to take the pride of helping somebody, because then he must be poor. And when you by chance, one time you say he likes it, because after all you have done it, he likes it. Second time when you say, he said, look, if you would not have been there, I would have gone to somebody else. You are destroyed. Totally destroyed. So that much for your sense of being a good Samaritan. Are you getting that point? Please. You understand how many cobwebs you have got inside you? So he is sitting down there with a pincer of wisdom and removing Nanavidha Paramarsa Salya Uddhara. Nanavidha Paramarsa, millions of conclusions in my head which I have got. He tells to his teacher, I am now removing every one of them, meaning counteracting each one of it by this wisdom. Listen carefully. What is each one of it? If you are a really fantastic person, totally aware, you can simultaneously counteract everything. But if you are a little unconscious, there can be one little value comes in, conclusion comes in and destroys you. Very happy to say, yes, everybody is one and same. But somewhere unconsciously it has gone into your head, deep in the system it is still there, that I am a superior caste. By chance there is some situation comes up there where the person comes in and an inferior person comes into you and touches you or stands ahead of you. I am the son of the gun. My father is the one who established this temple. So what is that? The temple, what do they say? Honor, temple honor. The temple honor should come to me. That man, how can he stand in front of me? Just before that he was telling, Shiva temple, Sarvam Shivamayam. Sarvam Shivamayam. Everything is Shiva. So then the bell Harati is over and the person has to be given the thing. Now another person innocently goes and stands there and takes that Arati. Finished. Finished. The whole temple will come down. Why? The temple honoring me. Ask yourself, at what all moments your anger comes up, hatred comes up, jealousy comes up, insecurity comes up. Does it come up? Yes. Sit down. For whose sake? Your sake. Or else you will destroy your life, a few other lives also will be destroyed. Nothing to worry about it. You will be destroyed. He's just like a man who is drunk and driving. Destroy himself. In the process, some other people also destroyed because you are on the same road. You are living in the same world. The person destroys himself because he is not aware of himself. If you are aware of himself, think of it. If you are aware of yourself, will you consider any other thing better than this knowledge? Think. For whose sake? Listen carefully. For the sake of which thing you shall sacrifice self-knowledge? Name one thing. What is that something for which you can give up? Call it God, call it divinity, call it absolute, call it self-knowledge. That line, I am not talking God in a particular form. Then you are a fanatic. You shall kill other people in the name of your God. This is your God, rest is not. And you see all self-knowledge, self-awareness. What is that? Who is better? Everybody is saying. Aham Brahmasmi, absolute. Everybody is saying. So for that sake, what is that something cannot be sacrificed? To be yourself, which role you must hold on to? Do you need to hold on to a role? No. And what is that role you cannot sacrifice? What is that insult you cannot take? What is that honor which you cannot digest? What is that lifestyle which you cannot shun? And what is the lifestyle which you cannot embrace? To be yourself, you don't need a lifestyle. You don't need anything. But being yourself, you can choose to live with. Prisoners as prisoners, happy people with happy people, free people with free people. Think of it. Are you a person like that? Or somewhere down the line, so many little identities, thoughts, expectations, ideas, still has a stranglehold over you, because of which you explode once in a while, because of which you feel suffocated once in a while, because of which you feel frightened once in a while, or because of which you unconsciously feel elated once in a while, unconsciously feel elated once in a while. Every word I am giving you a measured word, okay? And if you are aware of yourself, consciously you can feel what emotion? Anything, anywhere with any word. Jale jalam, taile taile. Water in the water, oil in the oil. Enjoying the childhood, enjoying the youth, enjoying the old age, enjoying poverty, enjoy prosperity. Mana apamanayoho tulya tatha mitrari pakshayoho. How nice! Again and again, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, Bhagavatam, everything goes on talking about it. Mitra aripakshayoho tulya. Same for the mitra and ari. One who helps you outright is wonderful. One is your enemy also wonderful. Why? If the fellow, one who is helping you outright, helps you to tide over a difficult situation, and a person who is your enemy helps you to wake up to yourself and see, can I be really affected? Cannot be. Fantastic. This fellow is inspector of wisdom. Ari. One tests you, giving you prosperity. One tests you, causing poverty. Both are fine. One tests you by respecting you. Another tests you disrespecting you. And you don't, and if you are abiding in yourself, you don't consider it a test, you consider it a flow. You understand? When you are happy with yourself, when you are abiding in yourself, you don't consider it as a test, waiting for a test. What nonsense. You consider it as a flow. You are just going in the flow. You're like a coconut. Remember that example? Coconut. The coconut can never drown. That big novel, Papillon, if you have read that novel, it's a beautiful novel. I loved that one. That man was living in an island. He wants to He's imprisoned in the prison of an island. He wants to escape, but thousands of kilometers sea. How do you go? But he feels so suffocated. So he discovers somehow I have to get out and go. How does he go? There is no boat, no nothing. He can't make a boat out of it. So he collects coconut on the island, makes a big bag of it. On the bag he jumps with the bag, and the coconut never drowns. Floats, 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 floats. It's a fantastic story. Yeah, false or true, it doesn't make any difference. But somewhere he finds himself, because a boat can sink, but the coconut can never sink. The mightiest tsunami cannot make it sink. Highest wave cannot make it sink. So you are like a coconut. A boat, U-boat, submarine, big cruise boat has to be tested out. Leaking, not leaking, coconut. He just floats and goes and goes and goes. So you float. You are not tested. You don't feel tested in life. If you feel tested, you are still, you understand? It's very, very subtle. If you feel tested, it means still you have a sense of individual, unconsciously one whisper is there. Oh, how to talk about it? You understand? Please. So, everything, so time, space, sleeping, waking, dream, deep sleeping, everything. Swayam nahimni sitasya me swayam mahimni sitasya. Janaka says, me, for me, of me, swayam mahimni sitasya. One who is existing, so abiding his own glory. Swayam mahimni rajati, rajate. One who shines in his own glory. The sun is shining because eyes are shining. Eyes are shining because thought is shining. Thought is shining because you are shining. You are shining because you are shining. Thought is shining because I thought is shining. I thought is shining because you are shining. You are shining because you are shining. No other. Swayam mahimni rajati. So which thought is good, which thought is bad, which thought I am dependent, which thought I cannot use with, deal with. What condition I can be with, what condition I cannot be with. Everything is fine. So, now he is one with the teacher, one with the teacher. The real leader's thing, friends. The real leader is a person who doesn't create followers, who create leaders. True leaders do not encourage followers. You don't have to encourage. People will follow you. Followers, you don't have to encourage or create. You be yourself. People will encourage, people will follow, or people will follow you. They will drop out also when they don't feel like following you. You don't have to create followers. You just be yourself. Help other people also to be themselves. Don't create a follower. Don't encourage a follower. In teaching also is like that. Teaching, don't create admirers of teaching. Don't create your admirers, your fan club. 10 people love me, or 10,000 people love you. You have a totally stupid sense of your being who you are. They love you. You understand? Previously you thought they love you, but your children love your gold. You thought they loved, the man or woman loved you, but they loved your body. Now still you are thinking they love you. Or because you are talking some borrowed sense of logic. Once that also is finished, they will also disappear. Suppose it becomes repetitive, they will disappear. So don't try to create such thing. You see yourself who you are and make the other people being who they are. Thereafter, whether he is a teacher or not teacher, that's not my decision. Why? The teaching is being. You are being yourself. Looking at which being with which people automatically say, hey, if that person can make it, why can't I make it? Simple as that. So you don't learn to teach. You learn to be. And your being is a teaching. If somebody learns from it, it's fine. The whole creation, there is a sense of being. That's why everybody can enjoy it. But the tree cannot teach, mountain cannot teach. The mountain is in meditation, but the mountain cannot teach. The tree is in meditation, the tree cannot teach. The person is in meditation, but the person can teach. Share. Share what? I am in meditation or you are in meditation? You are in meditation. And we wake up. What do you teach? You are in meditation. How beautiful. Nobody more special or less special. Everything is so divinely peaceful. Close your eyes.